Hello everyone and welcome back to another Essential Album video. We're now on week 33 and this week we're taking a look at the Payback by James Brown. First released December 1973. Some notable tracks on this album include The Payback, Stone to the Bone, Doing the Best I Can, and Shoot Your Shot. This is just an incredible album. It's been a while since I've actually went through and listened to it. It's a little on the longer side. It's like I think like an hour and like 12 minutes, so kind of long, but it is just an incredible album from James Brown. I have some notes here about it. We're gonna get to those, and then we'll get to our track list and all that as well. So we just open the notebook up here. So again, The Payback by James Brown. Again, first released December 1973. I couldn't find an exact date, so yeah, just December of 1973. This is James Brown's 37th studio album, so definitely very prolific with the amount of albums that he released. I don't know exactly like how many he overall released, but it's definitely like a ton of albums. The reason I ended up picking this album this week, and like I said, I hadn't listened to it for a while, was I very recently saw the new Spike Lee movie with Denzel Washington, Highest to Lowest. And there is a scene in the movie where the title track of this album, The Payback, plays in the movie. I don't think it's on the actual soundtrack to the movie because I tried to find the soundtrack on Apple Music and that song wasn't on it. So I don't know if there was if that was like the score I was looking at or if there's a different like album. But yeah, that really just inspired me to just listen to the album again. Like I said, it's been a while since I've listened to it. But yeah, Highest to Lowest is a great Spike Lee movie. Denzel Washington has an amazing performance in it. Jeffrey Wright is also in it. Great performance from him as well. I would highly recommend checking it out. I believe it's only in theaters for a very limited time because I believe it's an Apple movie or Apple TV movie. So it'll be on Apple TV very, very soon. But if you can see it at the theater, I would highly recommend it. It's incredibly good, and it's the kind of the reason I'm doing this album for this week's video is because the song "The Payback" is in the movie, and it just fits the movie absolutely perfectly. Anyhow, so we're now back to talking about "The Payback." So apparently, this was originally considered for a soundtrack for a blaxploitation film called Hell Up in Harlem, but I believe the film producers ended up not wanting to do it, and the quote that I found from them was, it was, quote, the same old James Brown stuff. So they ended up not doing it, or not using the using this for a soundtrack. I believe the director of that movie, Larry Cohen, there's been like kind of conflicting stories where James Brown has repeated, and this story's been repeated, and I think the director's kind of has said that it's not accurate, but the movie was, quote, or the music was, quote, not funky enough, and then the director denied that was why it was not used, but apparently studio executives were complaining about the length of the songs off of, I think the soundtrack was for Black Caesar. So, and yeah, this album is very long, so you can maybe see that the songs are maybe too long for a soundtrack, because like I said, it's like an hour and 12 minutes, and there's like just a total of 8 songs. So they definitely go longer on this album, but it doesn't actually feel like as long as like it moves pretty quickly, and it doesn't feel like they're really padding any of the songs out. There's some where they definitely get into a groove and kind of ride that groove for a while. But it never really feels like it overstays its welcome. It doesn't feel like they're just jamming for the sake of jamming or anything like that. So it definitely is a long album, but it doesn't feel like a long album, and it doesn't feel like they're just artificially, like padding the runtime or anything like that. Interesting thing about this album that I did not know, and I was actually kind of surprised when I was doing my research for this, is apparently James Brown's only RIAA certified gold album for selling over 500,000 copies. That to me is just incredibly surprising that none of his albums, like ever hit like platinum or anything like that. Especially with him being like the godfather of soul and being like incredibly prolific with just putting out tons and tons of albums. It's just very interesting that he only has, according to my research, only one gold album in his entire discography, which is incredibly shocking to me. That was like I had to like double like check various like places and like came up saying this is the only gold album there. This hit number one on the Billboard Soul chart, no surprise there. And then it ended up getting to number 34 on the Billboard Pop Albums chart, which I believe has then been, it's been renamed several times, but that is the Billboard 200 as we know it now. So, yeah, definitely a breakthrough album for him. I said ended up getting to number 34 on that chart. Came out to some pretty good reviews as well. If you just bring these reviews up really quick. So All Music has this album at a 4.5 out of 5. Robert Christgau gave it a B+. eMusic has it at a 5 out of 5. And Rolling Stone Album Guide, kind of the only one that's slightly negative with a 3 out of 5. I think this album to me is like easily a 4.5, easily a 5 out of 5. Just like the funk on the album, it definitely feels more like a funk album than a soul album. There are soul elements, but like the grooves that they get into and just the amount of like instruments used, there's like obviously like trumpets and flutes and pianos, drums, guitar. It just creates this kind of like just great just like soundscape. And it's especially like the very first track, like the Payback, like when that song comes on, I just can't help but like start like bopping like that to it. It's like just like the drums on them, all the albums are like the songs are incredible. It's just the instrumentalization is just on point. It feels like a very kind of high mark in like funk albums. I don't listen to a ton of funk music, but this is just a great example of an amazing funk album. After that, we're going to take a look at our track list here. Let me just pull the track list up. So again, it's only 8 tracks and comes in at, let's see, 72 minutes, almost 73, so basically an hour 13 basically. Track 1 is The Payback, probably my favorite song on the album. And all these songs run kind of on the long side, but like I said earlier, they don't really feel like they overstay their welcome or they're made, like the songs are long for the sake of being long. So yeah, track 1 is a Payback. That comes in at about close to 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Track 2 is Doing the Best I Can. That is probably one of the more soulful songs on the album. That one is a little less funky, but that one comes in at 7 minutes and 42 seconds. Into track 3, we have Take Some, Leave Some. That comes in at over 8 minutes, like 8.5 minutes basically. Track 4 is Shoot Your Shot, which is also 8 minutes basically, 8 minutes and 9 seconds to be exact. Then into track 5, we have Forever Suffering, which is one of the shorter tracks on the album. That comes in at close to 6 minutes at 5 minutes and 52 seconds. Track 6 is Time Is Running Out Fast, and that is the longest song on the album, coming in at 12 minutes and 47 seconds. Then we go into track 7 is Stone to the Bone, which is 10 minutes and 14 seconds. And then finally closing it out with track 8 is Mind Power, coming in at little over 12 minutes, so 12 minutes and 4 seconds. So just an incredible like funk album, soul album. Kind of does a little bit of both, but when I cataloged it in my little spreadsheet of what I've listened to this year, I definitely put it under funk because I feel like funk is the kind of predominant genre on display here. Even though some of the songs do go into his kind of trademark soul sound, it's definitely a funk album in my opinion, and a very, very good funk album at that. Highly recommend checking it out. Also, like I mentioned earlier, check out Highest to Lowest. Like, I'm obviously not getting paid to like say that or anything. It's an incredible film. If you have Apple TV, probably in a few weeks it'll be on there, hopefully. But yeah, once it comes to Apple TV, I would recommend watching it there or checking it out in theaters, and then also checking out this incredible album. That is going to do it for this video. We'll be back in a week from now with a whole new album. No idea what that one's going to be just yet. Some of these are very kind of spur of the moment, like this one. Like I said, hadn't listened to this album for a while, and then that movie just inspired me to re-listen to the album. But so yeah, we'll be back in a week. So just remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Thanks again for watching. Take care and have a good one. See ya.